I'm looking forward to it. Scott has stories to tell. I'm drawing here with the camera on me. Then I'll hold up my drawings as I do them, like that.
So I went on a work trip. Did I tell you about this? I
I
don't know.
guess you didn't
Yeah,
send
I told
photo.
you.
Did you sit?
I went to
Did you?
Princeton, Illinois.
Uh huh.
Did I send photos?
I
I
wondered
don't
if you
think I
did.
did.
Maybe
Was I supposed to?
those were New York Con photos from Dave. I think.
Oh yeah, no. Oh no, no, no. I didn't send you guys any. This was a
Okay.
work trip, man. It was 10 hours in the car one way. It was
Oh man,
miserable,
I bet.
and I'm probably going to have to do it some more.
Sheesh.
It's
But
just one of
how?
those.
What was it on the
Well,
level of? Was it successful?
yes, I spent an hour in our CFO's office today talking about all the things I discovered, and I literally am already branded as persona non grata up there because I I went up there and I just kind of ruffled some feathers, and it's like, well, here's what we need to do, and people did not like that. I've already I've already had, and this is going to come to a head. I feel like where my supervisor is going to go, because what happened is I went up there and they don't have a good scanner in the art department. And I'm like, here's the scanner they need. And it's literally like $250, Ellis.
Yeah, I know. It don't cost much.
And I'm talking to my boss, and what happened is I talked to the CFO and I told him about they need this. And so I sent a thing to our IT guys and like, oh yeah, we'll order it. And the people up there are like, the supervisor, this department supervisor is like, we've talked about this, we've looked into this, and we don't really know that they need this.
Hmm.
And so it's like, well, wait a minute. Do you want me to go up there and make suggestions? And if so, are you going to follow through on them? Because I spent 3 days of my life. Hang on just a second. I had an ink accident.
Oh, yeah. Blot that up quick.
Well, it's on my thumb. I'm just trying to make sure it doesn't get
Okay.
anywhere else.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There you go.
Anyway, and so I'm like, no, wait a minute. Why did I spend? I told my boss. I told my boss. I said,
Yeah.
because I was telling him about this, because I didn't even include him in the emails. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. I'm like, man, it's a no brainer. And I told my boss, I go, do I need to order it on my Amazon card and just have it shipped up there? I said, because I'll do it. If you tell me, you know, I said, I shouldn't have to pay for a scanner at a $90 million a year company, but I will do it if that's what I need to do. Yeah,
Huh.
which is just me being a dick, really. But my point was, I feel they need it, and if the company's too cheap, I'm willing to pay for it. And you know what? I would, if it as kind of a flex, I'd be 100% willing to do it. Just like
Yeah.
hey, I'm so, and maybe put a note in it. I'm sorry that they said you couldn't have a scanner. This is a gift, a personal gift from me to you. I bought this with my own money.
I tell you what, though, you got to watch that. You do something like that, you'll find a Russell, my brother, in there somewhere, and the first thing he'll do is just destroy it.
Oh,
Do
just
something
out of spite,
just
yeah.
pure spite. Do it within seconds of it arriving, and realize that it never got any use that you would have hoped for it, and just do it to
Yeah.
see your expression change. Yeah.
Yeah.
If
Well,
it means absolutely nothing to the person you're sending it to, you can
oh
almost
no, no, well,
expect that to happen.
yeah. Anyway, so it'll be interesting because so my boss said send me all the emails. So I think what he's going to do is I think he's going to tell them, "Hey, if Scott suggested, I think we should get it." And
Hmm.
so it'll be interesting because both of these people outrank me. It's like the head of the plant and a division manager, which is like the next level up for me. And it's like
Well,
if my suggestion outranks their, it's like, I mean, I think it's like a whoa, you can come in here, but don't make changes. You know, it's like,
don't hit us in the budget, huh?
oh, good grief! It's $250.
Yeah,
Ellis,
yeah, I know.
if I
It's
and
ridiculous.
if I were buying this for my department, I wouldn't even talk to anybody. I just call up
Order
purchasing
it.
and tell them, hey, order this? I need this. Can you order this? I ordered $800 worth of silicone the other day, and I didn't. It's like, here's what we need. I don't care.
That
They
would
want to
turn me
make.
that would turn me into a mold making hobbyist again if I had $800 worth of silicone. I tell you.
Yeah, it's a lot of silicone, but
Yeah.
it's not going to last it very long. That's about
No,
a
no,
year's worth.
no, no.
Maybe. No, it's not even a year's worth.
No, you go through a big old mold for what you guys do pretty quick, I imagine.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, in fact, you know what? Since I've been over mold making, I've done that twice, ordered that much silicone. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
6 months worth of silicone, but anyway, so but that to me, that's because, I love that kind of thing. I mean, I love the office politics like that,
Hmm.
where it's like, oh yeah, we'll see. I'm pretty good at this, you know.
Is that silicone that you order? Is it the real simple silicone of 50/50? That
I believe so.
okay,
I'm
just
not
pretty nice little silicone, medium hard or something like that.
Yeah, in fact, I need to order some harder stuff because our print. Yeah, that's the thing. They're ordering that, or they refuse that. I'm getting ready to order silicone specifically for these same people that'll probably
Hmm.
cost me more than that scanner did.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
sure.
you
Yeah,
know.
that chemical starts costing money pretty quick.
Yeah, but anyway, I'm using a brush tonight.
Cool, groovy. What kind?
It's a Windsor Newton Series 7.
Series 7, number
Yeah.
3.
Yep, number 3. Did you see that, or did you guess?
I guess that's the one that everybody uses.
Yeah, mine. This is very old though. It's kind
It
of
doesn't look like it's coming to much of a point.
no, it's not at all.
I would lick it a bit before you
Well, it's got
start.
ink
Not
on.
lick
It's
it
got
with your
ink on
mouth.
it. It's got
I
ink on
mean,
it.
I mean,
Oh, you mean like?
lick it on an index card and bring it to a point. Waste a little
No,
ink.
there
To
you
get
go.
it
Is
to a
that
point.
better? Is that better?
Yeah, oh, that's a lot better.
Okay.
It'll stay wet.
Anyway, so I went up there. I made a bunch of notes. Like I said, I was in my CFO's office for about an hour. Then I was in my boss's office for about an hour and a half. And I mean, I'm probably going to have to go up there again. I just don't know when. Oh, it's just splitting on me.
Yeah, if it's an old one, you gotta hang them upside down every now and then, wash them real good, and treat them right. Otherwise, it
Well,
will turn into a cheap brush on you.
yeah, I'm just using it for spot and blacks anyway. So
Doing goals.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'll move this over where you can
Oh,
see it.
check this out.
Mm-hmm. Are you showing me
Uh,
a picture or something?
I'm going to. I'll show the audience here. I got my Frazetta book. I made a comment about this Frazetta book when Doug stiffed me the other day when I had one of these StreamYards all set up just to do like a Skype call with him.
Yeah.
And then I just went ahead and did a 3-minute program about how I got this book. The Frazetta, the book cover art. Now I'm a little cooler on it than I was when I was anticipating it arriving, just because it is just the covers in sequence. But I love that. I love that. Oh, and I've
I thought
stopped
that's
on
what
back.
you wanted.
It is what I wanted, but I wanted the little extra bit of info on the media being used. But he tells me just enough that it's shocking, really, to me to realize that Frazetta was using watercolor so much when that hot period when he started in '63 and through the early '60s when he was doing all the Edgar Rice Burroughs stuff, and I didn't know that every one of those things he did early on for Ace Books,
Oh yeah,
that
the
they weren't
old ones.
they weren't returning to him. They were keeping the originals, and he just hated that, and it affected psychologically everything he did for him. So he was just whipping out watercolors. And that's what he would do for studies later on with Lancer.
Right.
He'd get a good study going, and then he'd do it in oil. But I really was surprised how many of these things were done in watercolor. So it just shows you his talent is, you know, like any painter's talent, I guess, ought to be is mixing color. He just mixes the color exactly throughout in a way that you wouldn't think of a watercolor as being even capable of. But I say that, but acrylics, obviously, you got complete control over what you're putting down.
Yeah. Which reminds me, of you saying that, I got off the phone. We're late because I was talking to my writer
Oh yeah,
about our next project.
your writer
Um,
with SourcePoint, or is he
yeah.
necessarily always with SourcePoint?
We'll see where this next project goes.
Okay,
That's the thing. It's a little more risky, I think, because we don't have a guaranteed, which we really didn't anywhere. But he wants to do a book, or he wants to do a comic. We agreed we'd do a one shot, see how it went, based on with this. Apparently, the spider is in public domain.
oh wow,
So
that's cool because he's a cool character. I mean, he is. I don't know if it was a tie, but he was out about exactly the same time the Shadow was, right?
yeah, I've read a little bit about the spider. Apparently, it was the spider was the third most popular after Doc Savage and the Shadow, which makes
Mm-hmm.
sense.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I don't know the exact time frame. We've talked about we're going to do it. It's probably going to be set. Well, one of the things we talked about was it's going to be set, and the writer was like, "I want to do it during as a period piece,"
Sure.
which I'm like, "Man, you almost have to." But apparently, some of the later adaptions of, like some of the comic adaptions, they didn't do them as period pieces, which seems like a travesty to me.
Oh yeah,
You know.
you'd want to do that as totally Depression era kind of stuff,
Yeah,
or
well, we were talking about
maybe
maybe doing it early war,
yeah,
you know,
coming
so
out of
you get
the depression.
right, maybe 40s, but so you get Nazis. That was the thing is,
Yeah, oh yeah.
you can do stuff with Nazis. But anyway, so I don't know what the story is going to be, but he's like, I want it to have a lot of action, and I'm like, cool, that's what I want,
hmm
So anyway, he had mentioned he had an idea for a story about the heap, but that didn't appeal to me too much.
It'd be probably let you wander more into superhero fantasy kind of stuff. The Heap. Well,
Maybe I don't.
that's not truly. I mean, obviously, the old pulp stuff like the spider could wander into giant robots with a.
Oh yeah,
In fact, they did. That's the one I read was the one about giant robots. And the
yeah.
spider, he can be a bit of a psycho. He'll do you in
Oh yeah. He's
pretty quick.
yeah. He's not Doc Savage, where he sends you off to the criminal
No,
college
no,
for brain surgery to cure you of your evil ways.
he does his own brain surgery.
Yes,
Yeah,
45 caliber brain surgery.
yeah.
Anyway, so that's why I was late. Was talking to him, and that seemed pretty cool.
How'd it go? I mean, in terms of like, did he seem like it's a done deal, or is he?
Oh, we're gonna talk again on November 1st. I'm gonna work on some concept, character concepts, and so I get to draw a bunch of guys shooting guns,
Yeah.
and he's going to work on a plot idea, and we may send a few emails here and there collaborating on stuff.
Use
between,
your
but
use
that's
your
kind
new
of the plan.
use your new relationship with artificial intelligence to just do the comic for you beforehand.
Oh, but here's what I was going to tell you. I made the request that I would like to take a stab at painting the cover.
Sure. Yeah.
So I'll have to bone up on digital painting between now and then.
I'll just just do a drawing and then just give it the business in Photoshop. And that's
Yeah.
most paintings are done for
Yeah,
comics.
I mean, I look at that stuff and I go, that looks pretty easy, really. I mean, I know I look at it and go, I see what they're doing here.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
The execution, those where it falls apart. But
Mm-hmm. Well, if you
anyway.
need any good brushes, maybe I've got some that would, because usually as a rule, one way to make something look like a painting is just use the same brush throughout it, whatever that brush might be. You'll get something that looks like a painting because you limited yourself to that one brush.
Oh yeah, yeah, I could see
But
that.
if it's a beautiful behaving brush, it makes it worthwhile to just use one. That always kind of bugs me. A lot of people, they obviously get tired of saying, "What brush is that? I want that brush." And you can understand that, and then you'll get these tutorials. I am going to take this hard round default brush, and I'm going to show you that you can paint anything with it.
Yeah,
And
then they
course,
do,
and
or
then
then
they
they
do,
don't.
and then they do, or but it would have been easier if it was behaving like a traditional media brush that had all the settings set up for it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Anyway, I've done a little bit of digital painting, but certainly not much.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see.
Oh, I think sometimes I forget is everything I thought I knew. I also got this from the library today. It's called The Life and Death of Colonel Blimp. It's a Criterion edition. And I got it because I ran across a random note about it that said, well, there just may be, according to many people like Martin Scorsese, for one, it may just be the best English film.
What?
So I said, well, now, wait a second. I understand that Michael Powell and the guy Pressburger, they were partners.
Yeah.
They did was it Black Narcissus? Black Narcissus? Yeah, I think so. And, Peeping Tom, and the Red Shoes. So they're huge talents. And so I got to watch this movie, right?
Yeah. Yes. Of course you do.
So, I got that from the library.
Was it interlibrary loan or just from the library?
Just from the library. Yeah, they got it on hand. So you can get it too if you feel like
reading or watching a British movie.
Yeah. I also read that book. I finished as much. I had to return all my interlibrary loans. And
you're not supposed to get them all at once, Ellis.
I know it. So I only read half of that Cormac McCarthy book, and then I managed to read every part of that. They came from outer space. All those,
really?
All those short stories. I read them all except the ones that I could find as audiobooks on YouTube, and I have those. I have Who Goes There and The Fly that I'll listen to on YouTube, and they're narrated
there
by
you go.
some guy that's a real famous makeup artist and special effects makeup guy, but he's got a real mellifluous, mellifluous, mellifluous. Anyway, he's got a great voice. And so I'm looking forward, especially Who Goes There. I don't want to necessarily read that again. I want to have somebody telling me that story. That'll be fun.
Oh yeah.
And The Fly, I've never read The Fly.
I've never read either one of those. I'd like to. I need to get that book.
I'll send you the links to the audiobooks I found on those.
Yeah, send me the links to. I'll definitely listen to the audiobooks.
I trying to think of the one that. What is interesting? The Doctor Cyclops, when that was filmed as Doctor Cyclops. Farewell to the Master, filmed as The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Yeah.
That was very interesting, and it's got the same basic ending where we. Have you seen it? I don't want to spoil it for you. If you
Yeah, that Day the Earth Stood Still was one of my picks on Classic Cinema Podcast.
That's right. But you had already seen it, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So at the end of it, spoiler alert. Turns out Gort isn't just the manservant; he's the police force. Michael Rennie, the character that's shot and brought back to life, is just there for PR sake. You know, the AI ready to loose itself on our butts is Gort. He's in charge. So that Deadly City. But the thing that strikes you about reading the ones, the Alien Machine, which was This Island Earth, all of these strike you as just really treatments. I can't believe. Well, the reason they became movies is because whoever was exposed to them said, this reads like a really good treatment for a movie. We could make a movie out of this. And, it was, so that makes you think, don't concentrate on script writing, because that requires, it's very distracting what it requires. Just do 40-page short stories and see if somebody else wants to do the hard work of making it into a script.
Well, I think what helped is, and I don't know when these stories were written, but in the 50s, there was a flood of science fiction movies, so that didn't hurt. That they were looking for these cheap, you know.
Well, yeah, but then again, all of these that got picked to be turned into movies would be 1 in 100,
right,
or 1 in 1,000 for that matter.
Right. Yeah. I mean, but it's.
But the other thing that struck me about them is like none except for the very last one, which is A Boy and His Dog. That's another one I'm going to reread. But I'm going to look around.
That's by Harlan Ellison, isn't it?
Oh yeah, and he makes the dedication in the book. He says to Harlan, who is responsible for all this. Basically, he said it was his encouragement that got him started down the path of even doing the project.
Oh yeah, that's kind of a cool book. I want to get it. It's available, but it's a little pricey, not super pricey. But
it tends
like
to be too pricey. Yeah, I wouldn't mind owning it myself. It would be a good book. And this Jim Wynorski, this is done in 1980, which is a good 2 years before he really gets going with Roger Corman. So this guy, he ended up making 100 movies, but most of them almost unwatchable. But even his first ones where he's making an attempt, Chopping Mall, I've never watched more than about 10 minutes of it. It's some movies are just not all that good. And,
I kind of like Chopping Mall.
You like Chopping Mall? Well,
it's goofy. But,
it's got some great scream queens in it. Yeah, just starting their careers. Yeah.
Oh, it's an Amazon Prime movie. That's where I've seen it.
Oh, if it's Amazon Prime, I may give it another chance.
It goes in and out of Prime, but I think it's probably on Prime.
Yeah, I'm
at
sure I
any
can find
one
it.
point.
I can find it on Tubi or
Probably, yeah, probably.
yeah.
So I got to take my car to the shop tomorrow for 60,000 mile maintenance.
How did your are you pretty healthy? You had your
Oh yeah. Dude, here's what's funny. I went in. Now I haven't got my lab work yet, but I went in. I was sitting there with my legs crossed, and the nurse was taking my blood pressure,
mhm.
and I go, "Oh, do I need to uncross my legs?" Which you're not supposed to cross your legs. It'll make your blood pressure read high,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And she goes, "Well, your blood pressure is 120 over 70, so we're not gonna. You're
Worry
good."
about it.
Yeah, it's like it was good. So, and my doctor was like, "Man, everything sounds good. Your heart's nice and strong. Your your circulation. He feels my legs and my ankles and my knees, and he's like, man, your circulation sounds good and feels good, and everything seemed to be okay. The thing that the last couple times I've had a little trouble with my cholesterol, but Michelle and I have been exercising, and I've been trying to be careful." And so that may even be good. My blood pressure was a little high last time I went, or a year ago. So maybe my cholesterol will be good, and I'll be really good.
Well, I hope so. That's I had my own little mini angina attack, which is basically a heart attack light, and I had that in
Wait, when did you have this?
September, August 31, actually. But I'm back to normal now. But I tell you what, that lets you know that life is short.
Ellis, you didn't tell me this. I didn't know about this, man.
Well, I thought I mentioned that, but
No.
but it's
I think I'd remember you mentioning this.
well, there's not much to do about it. Angina. That's the sort of level you don't mess with anything other than just take an aspirin and hope
Right.
it gets better. But no,
Did
and
you
it
go to
was
the Did you go to the doctor or?
no, I didn't. But it was minor enough that it let me get back to almost normal within about 4 or 5 days. You know, and right now I'm at normal pretty much. But it's kind of cool to have that brush with something where you are pretty convinced you are going to die and
Oh my
realize, okay,
gosh.
and to say, now wait a second, this doesn't bother me a bit. Because it really didn't. The idea that I might be not waking up in the morning or dying even before then didn't bug me a bit. It
Oh
was,
well.
you know,
Go ahead. Go ahead. It was okay. You were okay with this.
yeah, because it just seemed like uh, the natural order of things. In fact, it was really nice for letting things play through my head of like, man, everybody needs to do this. This makes me
It's
really
like
do
it's
a
like
good.
going on a it's
Yeah,
like going into a sweat lodge.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Okay, so uh, well, one, I always tell my employees who are much younger than me when they talk about, oh, it's COVID's killing all these people or whatever. I'm like, look, we're all gonna die one day, and they
Yeah,
hate that. They
yeah,
hate that. I went through a phase. Oh, it's probably been 10 years ago or longer, where I was having real bad heartburn,
mm-hmm,
and heartburn. If you have heartburn, it can feel like a heart attack. I
yeah,
mean, or at least a classic symptom of a heart attack. You don't have all
mm-hmm,
the symptoms, but you definitely have a chest pain. It'll make you wonder if you're having a heart attack.
mm-hmm.
And I mean, to the point, we were in New York one time, and we went and I ate shrimp tempura, and it was
Hmm.
late at night, and we went back to the room, and in a hotel room, you especially in New York City, there's nowhere to sit. So, like, if you watch TV, you lay on the bed. Well,
Yeah.
I ate that greasy shrimp, and I even told Michelle one time I ate it, this is really good, but man, it's greasy.
Hmm.
And later on that night, man, I woke up and I had chest pain like nobody's business. And I almost woke Michelle up and had her take me to the ER. That's how bad it was.
Yeah,
And
it's scary.
there have been times I've been at work and in this period of time where it's like my chest is killing me, and it's just and it wasn't bad. It was just this pressure on you.
Hmm.
And I there were times I sat at my desk working thinking, am I going to drop dead any second? And I know I wasn't too crazy about that thought,
Yeah.
but I mean and then you go, well, I mean me, I mean I'm like, well, I'm ready to go. So what, I've had a good run.
Well,
So,
that's the
you know,
deal. A young person wouldn't react with my reaction. Maybe you'd say, "Oh no, no, no! This can't
the,
be happening.
not me.
I've got more supermodels I might meet."
I
You
got,
know.
yeah. Well, a man can dream.
Yeah. Well, that's it. My dreams on supermodel interaction is pretty well a little more realistic, maybe
Well,
than it
let me
used to
just say
be.
this. I told this guy at work the other day this. I said he's in his 20s. I looked at him. I said, Pedro, I am glad that I grew up in the era where supermodels were supermodels. And he goes, oh, geez, no kidding.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah. Instead of our
instead of some kind of model
influencers. Yeah, we don't have.
right, or instead of like, hey, I'm an example of body positivity.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see that crap.
Let's get this guy out of prison. He just killed 10 people. Come on,
Yeah.
don't be a meanie. He's been in prison long enough.
Well, no, I wasn't thinking about their personal activism. I was thinking more in the fact that they were not examples of how every body type is the best body type.
Yeah. Oh
It's
yeah.
like, hey, no, these are supermodels, man. They got to
Yeah.
look like supermodels. They can't look like, you know.
Yeah. This whole thing of well, you remember those? You had to have seen a clip or two of this where the women dressed in skin tight green leotards attacked a couple other women on the subway. Did you see that?
Yes,
Well,
Yeah, I saw
what
part of
strikes
that.
me, the green leotards were strange, but what struck me about it was like, why would anyone as obese as these women are ever wear anything skin tight? But you see that all the time anymore. It's like, you shall
Oh
not
yeah,
body shame me. I will dress like,
yeah. I deserve to dress just like Christy Brinkley dresses or
exactly.
whatever.
I want to dress like the best thing for me is a spray paint job. It's what you
Yeah,
need to see my body with. And it's like, no, no. You need smart strategies for how
overalls,
you get, yeah,
coveralls,
yeah, yeah,
coveralls, coveralls are in your future,
yeah.
lady. Well,
Cute coveralls. Yeah.
yeah, you can. They can have bows on them.
Hmm. But that sort of thing, you can, but you wonder if it's just not being treated as a challenge. It's like, they sold us on so many things these past few years. It's like, well, let's just and Madison Avenue. Let's hammer the hell out of it. We've got more fat people than we got skinny people. Let's tell
That's
them they're
true.
beautiful. Let's tell them they're beautiful.
Yeah, there's there or maybe our audience is more fat people than skinny people.
Yeah.
I mean that's certainly true.
Actual, you know, ideal body weight is and below is the 2%. I don't know. It's hard to get down to, your optimum weight
Oh yeah.
with especially with our diets. It's
Yeah.
got weight. It's got too much sugar in it. It's got too much fat in it.
Yep.
This is interesting. I left this camera like this because supposedly because I talked to Doug TeNapel today and he was telling me all about the algorithm and supposedly the way to get
Oh
a
yeah.
better response on your YouTube is to have a face showing. But I think I'm
Oh
going
really?
to. Yeah, it would take a little more. I don't even remember what that other program was that would float a little face. What is that called? OBS? Yeah, that's probably OBS.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I've used that a couple times. I
Oh,
don't.
so Doug gave you all the tips.
Oh, he gave me a handful of tips. But of course, one thing he told me, I take all the stuff Doug tells me with a little grain of salt. He does know his stuff, but like for instance, he says the one thing that's definitely keeping him off, they cancel him the moment he pops up. He thinks it's face recognition. I mean, he's sure it's face recognition. That the moment his face pops up, that he's gone. I think it's just as simple as he'd have to change. He'd have to go rent an office because if it's coming off of his links to his current internet service provider, that shows up as a distinct address. So that's all they have to do to mark him. It's like if it comes out of that house he's in, off the computer he uses,
Yeah.
then he's not going to be able to beat it. That's what gets me on Twitter. They know me on Twitter. Every time I've tried to start one or two new accounts, and they get me right off. They recognize me.
So you're off Twitter now.
Well, yeah. I just lurk around. I can still use it as a real good news source just by clicking on guys I like to get their opinions. Michael Malice, Pasobek. Doug shows people get a strike according to, Rakita Law. Rakita Law got kicked off.
What happened to him? He got kicked off?
He got kicked off for, I forget what they considered abuse or, it was more like abuse. I think he had a thing going on with somebody where he did a couple snappy comebacks on them and they decided it was abuse. And of course it wasn't. You can read what he said and it's like well within the, but it was, it was, false flagged. Oh, you think somebody false flagged Rakita? Oh, I got to show these up. Doug shows people get a strike, according. False flagged. Yeah, the child trans activist did a. That's right. They did something where. I could look up the details on it, but he's gone now, and just that quick.
Rakita or Doug?
Rakita. Doug is gone too, but he's got a little stealth thing going on, and he just managed to get monetized. So we'll see how long that lasts. I won't even act.
No, don't.
Well, everybody will find him that wants to find him, I assume.
Yeah.
So he's gonna, he sent me a couple of links, and it's shocking. He's back now. You're saying Rakita's back, not Doug, or are you saying Doug is back? So whim, specificity, of course, a lot of it.
Wait, what is shocking? You changed your subject there, Ellis.
Oh, I'm Rakita's channel's back. He got a suspension. Okay. Yeah, he was awful big. I mean, he had an awful lot of traffic during a lot of these high profile cases that were being handled of the Kyle Rittenhouse and a couple of others.
Oh
He,
yeah.
he was the go to guy to get a blow by blow on the trials as they occurred. So the trans thing he would be about is like, you know, trying to represent these kids that have got crazy parents, I would think, trying to thwart some of this stuff that is going to allow these children, infants, to transition. Stupid stuff. Rakita's already got a Rumble audience of 10,000. But does that mean anything? Does it mean money? Probably doesn't mean money.
Might be
But
money.
it's a nice success story. And Rumble's growing. I think if there's a cross pollination enough of big enough one between locals and Rumble, people will be saying who needs YouTube? That'd be great.
Yeah.
Well, some of the links, Doug gave me a link called Mad Bird. It's just a Russian guy. So I checked out his videos, and basically they are just about like clickbait. He says, "Look at Kamala, she's drunk. Look at Hillary, she's drunk. Look at Pelosi, she's drunk." He's got that kind of stuff where he doesn't go for a minute and a half. He'll use public access, clips that apparently nobody has got a real, you can't copyright strike them, and then he'll just snark on it, and the end after he's done with that, and apparently he makes money. He says he's got to raise locals, Rumble, and Odyssey. Yeah, locals can mean real money. That's I'm paying Doug $5 a month. You get enough people paying you $5 a month, you can kind of go places on that kind of money if it's enough people.
Yeah.
The regular Fuji vacation there.
Yeah.
Fuji. I was seeing something where it that Samoans
Yeah.
are like The Rock. He wanted to make a point that he wouldn't want him to, after all, he's got Black Adam coming out. But they don't identify as black, I don't think. And, they don't look black.
No, he looks Samoan.
Yeah, Samoan. But I think they're being misidentified as black in a lot of places.
Well, sure. That's what we specialize on in America, is being dumb.
Yeah. Well, yeah, or trying to acquire people into your group if they're...
Yeah, exactly. The Rock is one of us.
Yeah.
Whatever us is.
Identity politics. Yep.
Gotta love it. No.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have to love it. Don't have to love it. Don't have to love it.
Did you see where Shatner talked about his trip into space, about how it... It says Rock's half black, half Samoan.
There you go.
Well, you go. He's as black as Obama then.
Yeah. Anyway, Shatner talked about a trip into space and what?
Well, it was kind of interesting because he talked about, instead of being uplifted as he looked toward the void of space, or being awed or anything like that. He was just kind of like horrified. All he saw out there was death. And he's right. It's just all hostility for
Yeah. Well,
as far as the mind can imagine.
yeah.
And that little pebble back behind him is the only place he can possibly hope to survive, and they got to get back to it.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't understand why certain people or some people are like, oh my gosh, we got to get out into space and we got to do, and it's like, there's nothing out there for, I mean,
this is our spaceship here.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, and I get it. I'm not saying we shouldn't explore, the solar system and all that stuff, but, there are people that are like, I've got to get it, I want to get, and I'm like, I mean, I'm glad they do it, but it ain't for me,
I wrote a poem in a poem in honor of my angina attack a month ago.
Oh, you did? Is it a haiku?
Yeah, pretty much. So here it is.
Oh, it is.
It's called Let's Go. You wake up a bit too cool or a bit too hot. Your brain says, let's go. Your heart says, let's not. So there's my poem. It says, do it. I forget what that might be referred to, Wim. I'm sorry. What should we be doing? I forgot. Yeah.
Not having angina.
Yeah.
I'm concerned that you should go to a doctor, though.
No.
No.
Doctors are trouble.
Well, okay. Maybe. I don't know. I think.
No, ever since I heard that rubber glove snap at one time, I promised myself I'd never be back.
My doctor told me that he had a guy that canceled his physical, or he missed his physical, and so they called him and he rescheduled. And when he went there, he told him, he said,
"No butt probe."
No, you know what he told him? He goes,
"What?
I add a finger for every appointment you miss."
God. Oh Lord.
Yeah.
I did that for. Never mind. I won't get that personal.
Yeah, let's not. We don't need to know your medical history.
We're done. Yeah.
Speaking of done, I think we are done.
We are done. Okay.
I think so. I need to go.
How did it go on the inking? You didn't do anything that messed it up or anything, did you?
No. I need to.
I think digitally, if you gave yourself a little preview exactly where you're going, that would ensure you aren't going to make any.
Nah, I got it all in my head.
You got it in your head? That's good.
The truck is a good example of what I want to go for.
Yeah.
See right here where the light is, tail light? That's how I want it to look. Thin lines with some splotches of black across it.
Yeah. And you got your reference around.
Yeah.
Okay.
Reference right there.
Okay.
Anyway. Okay. We're done.
We're done. Hey, Wim, thanks for giving us all the feedback.
Yep.
Okay. Ending now.